we would get into fights with other people, and those turned into straight up brawls because there would be a bunch of us, 12 deep or whatever we were. So this is how video games saved my life. So New York City, right? Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. A lot of good times in New York City, and I realized early on it was either slinging coke or throwing out Hadoukens. Guess which one I chose? For y'all that don't know, I'm Cello, and I've been hosting esports tournaments since before it was called esports. So I think about this from time to time, but thank God for video games. Absolutely thank God for video games, because I used to run the streets with my friends and family, and it wasn't good. It was good, but it wasn't good, And we did whatever we want. We were stealing, banging, smoking weed, just no regard for anything. There was movies like Scarface and Goodfellas that kind of like popularized that.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Anybody that grew up in the hood idolized those movies. That kind of like dark lifestyle, everybody loved it. Everybody wanted to be that, they wanted to do that. Some of my homies, Ace, White Boy Chris, Vernon, Nina, Birdo, Sleepy, some of them are dead, some of them are locked up, some of them are MIA, They made some poor decisions in life, unfortunately. And it just sucks to think about sometimes, Right now, I'm good. I live in a beautiful place. I got my little family. We're going to church. I'm clear here. I'm clear here. I feel good about this, I remember the exact moment I chose video games over the streets. So it was summer of '97. My dad had got me a used copy of Mario 64 from the jewelry store on the corner. They used to buy and sell used video games in addition to jewelry. So I was there, like I was a regular. I was there, like I was a straight up tecato, to be honest with you. I had the game for a little while, and my cousin and I, we were chilling on a stoop, and he was like, yo, we're gonna go smoke. You want to come? And that was standard for us. You scrape together whatever cash you got, you chipped in, you smoked it out. Anybody that smokes, chipping. Everybody knows about that, right? But for some reason, I told him, nah, I'm good. And he was like, all right, and he left. And I don't know what it was, but just the thought of going to meet up with the homies to spot to smoke, it just didn't appeal to me. It was just like a straight up, it was an epiphany, He left, I went upstairs and I loaded up Mario Kart. There was just something different about playing Mario Kart that day at Royal Raceway. I felt like I went into a whole new universe. And I didn't smoke again after that. You would have thought that it would have been years earlier when my dad literally made me eat a cigarette because he caught me smoking. Nope. It was video games that made me stop smoking. I didn't really chill with the crew after that, like every now and then during the Puerto Rican Day Parade or here and there. But the chilling was more like, see you in the streets, we talk for 5 minutes, say what's up, do all this stuff, and then I was out, just kind of going our own way. And we used to smoke a lot. We would listen to Bone Thugs, sit on a roof, we would throw at cars or people passing by, hang out till 1 o'clock in the morning or later. And we were preteens at this point, doing a lot of bad shit. We would go to Washington Square Park to the Three Tits. I don't know if Three Tits is still a thing, but we would go there, we would cop and smoke, chill in the circle and all that. We would get into fights with other people, and those turned into straight up brawls because there would be a bunch of us, 12 deep or whatever we were. And even when go-peds were a thing, I used to sell my go-ped. And everybody knew if a car or apartment was left open, we were going through a window or a door and just, throwing it back, taking it, we piecing out. I was a moron. I was a moron. I'm still a moron now, but I'm a moron in a different sense. And while all this was going on, I had another group of friends, and they didn't partake in the lifestyle, at least not to the same degree. So my other group, we'll call them 60 Squad. Shout out to 60 Squad. We were nerds. We would have spitball fights. We would play crazy eights in class because the public school system in New York City specifically sucked. We would get together, play video games. We would go to Chinatown to buy bootleg PS1 games. And we would also go buy anime tapes. You buy a Dragon Ball Z tape, you get like, between 2 and 8 episodes on a tape, which was kind of dope. Or we would go to Chinatown Arcade just to play. It's where the love of fighting games and just more love for video games came in. Oh, it's just crazy early in the morning right now. It's the spot. Came here, developed so much love for this space, for games, for the community. Yeah, it's cool. If you're ever in New York City, check it out. It's kind of cool. We hung out after school. We would go to bakeries or pizza shops and play arcades. We were legit, when X-Men Children of the Atom came out, we were legit, that's when the games were still a quarter. We would legit take a quarter and put it in the game, and we would take turns. We could beat the whole game on one quarter, because we used to pick Iceman and just cheese, you know, do the ooh, and then Arctic Attack, right? And we would just go through. And once that was done, we would go to one of our houses to play, you know, Super Nintendo. We play Super Mario Kart or Nintendo 64, you know, all those games that was out at the time. I'm an older gamer, right?
I'm old.
And it just made me realize something that this generation of gamers are missing. It's that IRL connection for gaming. Like, I grew up with video games pre-internet, so that was absolutely a blessing. So like the 60 Squad, right? Like I said, we played countless games: Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye, No Mercy, Perfect Dark, all those big multiplayer games. And just having that fun, like out of school or out of house experience, it helped us bond, like a positive bond. And I'll tell you right now, this made our gaming sessions always that much more stronger because of our IRL connection, right? These days, most gaming is done online, and while that does have its benefits, you know, you can play with anybody from around the world, I feel like something's missing. I'm big on couch gaming. I'm very big on couch gaming. You need to get together and try to bond with your gaming friends in real life. Trust me, organize a LAN party, a gaming tournament, just hang out in the park, bring your Switches, your Steam Decks, whatever it is. You spend time with your friends in real life, you're gonna form these deeper connections, and they're gonna last a crazy long time. You'll look back at these moments and you'll think about like just the funny shit that happened, just the good times, and it's gonna be good. And 20 years later, you're still gonna be gaming, right? The 60 Squad, I'll give you an example, 60 Squad. We formed in 1994. And you know when was the last time I talked to them? 10 minutes ago. So from 1994 to 2023, we still talk every day. We're sending messages. We play here and there. We don't play as much as we used to because now we're adults with children and we have responsibilities and all these other responsibilities.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Just frustrating. It's frustrating. Like, I feel like had I not gone upstairs all those years ago, I could have ended up dead or locked up like any one of my friends that I mentioned before. Like, I was the kid who got suspended from elementary school for bringing a blade in. I was the kid who everyone thought was gonna end up in jail when he got older. I was the kid that the teachers would give a W, the letter U, and another U on my report card, so the teachers could make an example out of me because I was so bad. I was the kid who tried to stab a whole bunch of drug dealers on my block. I was the kid who tried to burn down multiple buildings in New York City. I was the kid. I'll tell you right now, switching from the streets to video games, that was a godsend. That was absolutely a godsend, and I thank him every day for that. You know, I started to embrace my inner nerd, and I even remember my cousin getting mad at me one time because he wanted to chill, and I was like, nah, I'm good. And he was like, yo, we're gonna go get some, we're gonna be a loser and stay at home and rub your Nintendo controller over your dick. And I was like, yeah, maybe, might do that. You know, I didn't care. That peer pressure, it just wasn't gonna get to me. You know, he even told me, he was like, you know, what are you gonna do with those video games? You're not gonna do shit with them. And I remember specifically telling him, I was like, you know what? Let's see who's on top in 10 years. And you know what happened? 10 years later, he was in jail and I was graduating college. And I'm not knocking him. That's not what this is about. This video is about like how video games saved me from the streets. This video is about letting you know it's okay to be a nerd, to be a gamer. This video is about how video games saved my life, and it can save your life too, you know? Embrace the geekdom. You ain't got no friends? Go to a meetup, go to a video game tournament, go to a con. The gaming community is constantly doing IRL stuff with tournaments and cons and all that stuff. There's opportunity out there. So if you don't got your real homies in real life, go meet up with some real homies. You know, go introduce yourself. Hey, what's going on? I'm Cello. And I'll tell you right now, one thing that remains the same across all generations of gamers, that bonding element. When you find that, because even online, when you find somebody you kind of bonding with, you hear these stories of, oh, I played online games with this person from, you know, another state, another country for 10 years. Then we finally met and like they're good friends, you know? Look at the streamers, right? Look at Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tatman. They weren't friends before they were streaming. They started streaming, they became good friends, and now look at them, you know? That bonding element that gaming has, that's so good. So good. Go participate, go play video games, go touch grass while you're playing your Switch in the streets, right? Or in the park. I'm gonna get out of here. Go one up your world. Peace.